let's start with one question. How many of you don't have an account on Twitter? A lot of you. Good. That's expected. So my commitment is, by end of this session, you will feel at least that importance and urgency to be on Twitter. And before I share all what I want to share, one thing I would share. See, Twitter being 140 characters, right? It's just 140 characters. It's very, very difficult to tell the power of Twitter. The simplicity is also the reason why people don't get the value of it. When Twitter came in, people were saying, against Facebook, will it survive or not? Everyone tried to fight it and finally they embraced it. Google has embraced it, Facebook has embraced it, LinkedIn has embraced it. So now Twitter is not going to go anywhere. Those questions about will Twitter last or not, that's not there. And given it's just 140 characters, it's very difficult to logically explain. Only way you get the real value of Twitter is by experiencing it. I still remember when we did our workshop in June in Pune, I had invited a friend of mine to do live tweeting at the event. And he shared, what you can do on Twitter, Facebook doesn't come even closer. For me, for how many of you it's, what you can do on Facebook, Twitter doesn't even come closer? So that was exactly the space I was also in. And since then, I thought, he's on Twitter for a long time, making some sense, let me try. I would say last 3 months, my experience, of course, I'm still very, very active on Facebook. But when Facebook was here, Twitter was here, they are like this. And some cases it's like this. So my suggestion to you is, just experience it. There is nothing better way to discover the true value of Twitter. Right? And how many of you understand a hashtag? A lot of you. And if you are online right now, so use this opportunity to practice as well. That's like any event which happens. Tweeting is anywhere so much of happening. So this is a hashtag. So use it while we are discussing to practice some of the insights which I may share. I will start with a small video which talks about what is Twitter all about, how it started.
So, what are you doing? It's one of the first questions we often ask friends and family. Even if the answer is just mowing the lawn or cooking dinner, it's interesting to us. It makes us feel connected and a part of each other's lives. Unfortunately, most of our day-to-day lives are hidden from people that care. Of course, we have email and blogs and phones to keep us connected, but you wouldn't send an email to a friend to tell them you're having coffee. Your friend doesn't need to know that. But what about people that want to know about the little things that happen in your life? Real life happens between blog posts and emails, and now there's a way to share. This is Twitter in plain English. Thanks to Twitter, it's possible to share short, bite-sized updates about your life and follow the updates of people that matter to you via the web. Here's how it works. Meet Carla. She's addicted to her mobile phone, reads blogs every day, and has contacts all over the world. She heard about Twitter and was skeptical. After some of her friends couldn't stop talking about it, she gave it a try. She signed up for free and saw that Twitter pages look a little like blogs with very short posts. Each page is personal and has updates from friends. She got started by looking up her friends on Twitter.com. After finding a few, she clicked follow to start seeing their updates on her Twitter page. Within hours, she began to see a different side of people she chose to follow. She didn't know that Stephen in Seattle was a baseball fan, or that Julia in London was reading a new investment book. The little messages from Twitter painted a picture of her friends, family, and coworkers that she'd never seen before. It was the real world. Soon, she became a fan of Twitter and posted updates every day. Her friends followed her updates and learned that she recently discovered a passion for Van Halen. They could see Carla's life between blog posts and emails. For Carla, Twitter worked because it was simple. The updates were always short, under 140 characters. Plus, she could post updates and follow her friends using the Twitter website, software on her browser, a mobile phone, or instant messages. By asking members to answer the question, "What are you doing?" Carla found that Twitter brought her closer to people that matter to her, 140 characters at a time. Find out what your friends are doing at twitter.com. I'm Lee Lefevre, and this has been Twitter in plain English.
How many of you had seen this video before? A few of you. So what's the first thing you do when you meet someone? Take his visiting card when you are in a conference like this. Okay. What else? Say hi. hi, how are you, right? So exactly that's how Twitter started. People who care about you, instead of they coming to you asking, what are you doing, hi, how are you saying what you are doing. So that whole phenomena in terms of you sharing what you are doing has taken different shapes. Like company is talking about what they are doing. They are sharing their accomplishments, they are sharing getting projects, they are sharing a new office. You individually are sharing, like, I tweeted about speaking here. So that's exactly how Twitter started. And doing that, when you share what you are doing and then people can respond to you, gives you all the value which Twitter has. And that's what I'm going to share in terms of some of the interesting case studies, how this has phenomena of you sharing what you're doing and then people engaging with you, gives you lead, sales and everything, whatever you want in terms of your business objective. So just to add some fun, especially after lunch, I think that's how Twitter is going. So earlier, she's my daughter. Earlier, she would say, Twitter logo on my laptop, she would say, Papa, look, sparrow. I think very soon the time is coming, she will see sparrow outside, look, Twitter. I think that's exactly the way it is going. It is IT, yeah. So Twitter, sparrow, all Tweety birds, like, that's exchanging with Twitter. Some of the key milestones, and I'll talk about India as well. So it started in July 2006, and since then Twitter has grown phenomenally. More growth than any other, lot of other channels. Some of the things like Comcast, which is a telecom company, totally turned around their customer experience as a CRM tool using Twitter. That was one of the great milestones. Obama campaign, they used it. Dell as a company has been very, very effective in using Twitter they have hundreds of blogs, they have hundreds of Twitter handles. They use it for various purposes. Direct to Dell is one as a CRM. They use it to share discounts. So that's about, more largely, if you see, those are international events. What do you think is an event which really was an inflection point of Twitter in India? Shashi Tharoor was there. That was little late. Chetan Bhagat, that controversy made a lot of buzz. 26/11. Oil spill was there. That was again, international. But 26/11 was one of the key drivers of Twitter in India. So, like, I know a couple of cases there. I mean, if you know Netra. So Netra works at Pinstorm. She is like a Twitter queen. She tweeted during that time at stretch for 64 hours to help, find out where the victims are and all of that. And she shared one of the things which was very touching. Those guys who were in that hotel, Israel couple, they had called her, Netra, to tell their family in Israel that they are safe. She did that, and after an hour she got to know that they are no more. So she was, she tweeted for blood and a lot of people. And they were the people who were traced by all international media, CNN, IBM, because all of the traditional media houses, they were not on Twitter at all. So all of people like, us as a user really drove that. And since then, Twitter has taken the shape it has. But that was one of the inflection points. Of course, then Shashi Tharoor, Chetan Bhagat, and a lot of that has happened. Just wanted to share how it became so important, and now it is, every media house knows that it is, Bollywood is there. Because for them, every fan, want to know what celebrity is doing. There is no better medium than to do this. They share to lakhs of them. Just a quiz. One. What do you think is the second largest search engine? That was obvious, right? But answer was obvious. But if I had not asked this question here, the answer would have been different. That Twitter is today the second largest search engine. It has over 20 billion searches happening per month, while Google is at around 90 or 100 billion. Yahoo is at 13 billion. And here the search is all about listening. You put a search for your company name and find out what people are talking about. So Twitter is, I think there is no better tool to listen about the conversations about your brand than Twitter. So that's, again, reason which talks about why Twitter has already reached to that space. That it is, technically may not be a search engine that directly, but it is the second largest in terms of number of searches. What can you accomplish? So why don't you share, what all can you do through Twitter? What are different business objectives you can fulfill? Listening is the key, but don't use that. I shared yesterday as well. So please stop.
It's the fastest way to spread your information.
Fastest way to spread your information. Okay, great. Customer care, definitely. Open forums. Definitely it's the most transparent medium.
Sharing deals.
Sharing? Sharing deals. A lot of deal sites and discounts and has been using Twitter very, very effectively. Lead generation, employee engagement. A lot of internal, a lot of large organizations have just used Twitter as an internal employee engagement, customer engagement tool. It's a great brand building, brand promotion tool. Making communication short and simple. By the way, if you are on Twitter, I can tell you your creativity will go up next level. And that's the reason. I have experienced myself. If you have just 140 characters, you want to share what you want to share, practice it for some time. I'm telling you, your creativity will go to the next level. That's one inherent benefit you will get out of Twitter. Productivity, if you use it well, yes. That's true with any social media. Right. See, one thing is if you give it, they will use it or not, that's second thing, right? So even before that, they need to understand the opportunity. Sorry? If they understand the opportunity, send them to our workshop, they will be sure. But the point is, if they know the opportunity and you put the principles and guidelines at place, it's the best tool. You would not want to do, I'm sharing some of the examples, you would not want to do anything else. So the point is, if you are getting value, why don't you want, you may want to build a whole team. Like Guy Kawasaki, how many of you know? He has, in US and Europe, he has 3 guys full-time doing tweeting for him. Though I don't follow him because it has become a clutter, but of course he is driving huge value. And he has 3 guys, 2 in US, 1 in UK, doing full-time tweeting for him. He has invested a lot and he gets much more value of investing in that. Like any other marketing channel, if you are getting more value, this can be much more powerful medium. And one reason, people say social media is a grey area, right, for a lot of us. I would say Twitter is a black area for most of us. Because we have no clue, and that's the reason why Twitter has even more value today than it will be 6 months down the line. Because most of the people have no clue why Twitter, how Twitter. If you are on this medium today, from time value, you will get huge value. Like 2000, I started doing SEO by chance. Me knowing 1/10 of what I know today had 10 times more ROI. And the only reason was time. Before everyone understands how Twitter works, if you are on this medium, you get the maximum mileage. So that's another reason why you should care about Twitter. Right? How many of you know about this? So this is a mobile van which goes to different places in Los Angeles. Sells something like hot dog. And their customers wanted to know where the van is. What could they have done? To tell their customers where they are. Tweet, right? They use Twitter. And very actively and very phenomenally they use Twitter along with blog to share the real stories of their customers and along with Flickr to share the pictures. Earlier they had around 10 people coming to a location. Guess how much jump did they see? From 10 to 100. We are already thinking at least 10 times. Less than that social media is not. What else? Any other guess? 2000, wow. Don't talk about million at least, right? So it moved from 10 to 800 people per staff. And this is a new company manufacturing, not a technology company. And if you look at in India, there are a lot of applications like this. So this is one very, very interesting case study. Now there is another company in the US which is called Curry Up Now, like hurry up now. Can we do it later? Thanks. So this is Curry Up Now, which is like, hurry up now. They are an Indian street food and they have also started using it. And I'll share one very interesting similar example right now happening in India. How many of you know about Fasos? Some of you. Some of you are part of our workshop, so you know. So Fasos is based in Pune. They sell something like kebab, kathi rolls. They are present in around 8 locations in Pune physically. And this idea came in by another friend of mine. They said, in one just casual conversation, someone said, how about tweeting for ordering the food? And they actually implemented this. So how the system works is, you are a customer to Fasos. When you register to them, you give your Twitter handle. Along with that, there is an associated phone number and address. Then, only thing you need to do is 4 kathi rolls. They know your address, they know your phone number. If you are at a different location, there is some hashtag you define. They will call you, find out, you may be at a railway station, you may be at an airport. So this is new, not taken too big a space. However, great idea. And what happens is when you are tweeting, people who are following you get to know there is something called facets. So, and literally, people who are on Twitter, for them making a phone call is much more difficult than just doing the tweet. They just want to live on Twitter. So most of us, as more and more of us are going to be on Twitter, we would prefer to do tweeting than to call or write a mail or anything else. So for a lot of retailers in this country, this is a great opportunity. If you take like for Nerula's, Domino's, I'm talking to Coco Berry, so any one of them, take this. Of course, they need to build a whole ERP and inventory system at the back end. But if people have started tweeting about ordering your food, people who are following them, that's how you reach out. Great promotion. And of course, one who takes a leading role gets so much PR mileage, etc. But that's a big opportunity for retailers if any one of you are in that space. How many of you are customer to ICICI Bank? How many of you have problem with ICICI Bank? I think hands largely remains there, right? So I had the same problem. There was a parcel they were supposed to deliver to me. I went to the branch because it was on my way to office. They said she's the one who is doing it. A week later again, 3 visits, 18 days, nothing happened. Last time I said I won't come again. So they said this time pakka. 1 week I waited, no call. What I did? I tweeted, ICICI Bank's customer service sucks. 3 visits to the branch and the problem is still there. Worse, they don't even care, call back. Within few minutes, I got a message on Twitter. Sorry to hear that. Anything we can do to help you regain your confidence in ICICI Bank. Happy to have someone reach out to you. Please DM, which is direct message, your contact details. I sent them a message with the phone number. Got a call from there, one of the customer care head in Chennai. He called. He listened to my story. On the phone, he said, we are really sorry. Within 24 hours, you will get a mail with the step to resolution. I got a mail. We were, doing our workshop in Delhi. This situation was at that point of time. I was leading this session. Interestingly, at the same point of time, a call came. My partner picked the call. They asked for my phone number and residence number. Then the branch manager of that branch, along with the other guy who was supposed to coordinate, visited my home with that parcel. And my wife was saying that he was feeling so sorry as if he had murdered. And now I go to that branch, literally it happened. I stood for 3 minutes standing there. He said, sorry sir, you had to stand for 3 minutes. But so here the point is, large brands, a lot of Indian brands have started to listen. So one suggestion, if you have any problem with large brand, really if you have a genuine problem, just tweet with their brand name or company name or product name in that. We were doing a similar corporate workshop. Someone had a problem with Make My Trip. He tweeted. Within an hour, got a call from, I think at that point from Mohit, their CMO, problem got solved. Because brands have started to listen. So Twitter is gives you a lot of power as an individual. And if you are the brand owner, don't avoid not listening. That is a mistake people are doing. Because people are going to talk and talk and talk. If you don't listen, a same problem will blow up like a, wildfire. This has become actually helping ICICI Bank. I write for Wall Street Journal. I did a story, mentioned this. For all of you, I think one message you would be getting is at least ICICI Bank has started to listen. And they are altering, really they are altering the experience. Of course, still there is a huge gap, but they have at least taken that step. So, as a user, as a brand, company owner, business owner, there is an opportunity. Right? Can we move forward? Yeah. So, I did a blog post as well. Twitter solved the 3 months pending issue in 2 days. ICICI Bank manager came home. Dell. So, Dell is, most of you would know, but Dell, interesting example is, they were the ones, again, the inflection point of Twitter in terms of global space. So what Dell used Twitter for various reasons. One was they started sharing some exclusive deals. So they shared the coupon number and they tracked the revenue happening out of that. So they measured $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. After that they have stopped. But that was one of the inflection points. And a lot of deals, if you have some special offer, you can do that. A lot of Indian companies have started doing. only to the Twitter followers, some reward that you have. That's one reason why you can get people follow you. But yeah, if you want to promote a product which you have some deals, Twitter is, I think, going to take a lot of this space in India as well. How many of you know about TED India? TED Talk. So TED is, technology, innovation, global event which happened to India last year in Mysore Infosys campus. They use Twitter very, very well at all phases of conference. Pre, during and post. And TED, which was unknown in this country. Of course, it is a great conference, it had to catch that, but Twitter was very, very powerfully used. Perfect Relations was their agency. We had their case study as well. So they use it at every phase. And now, in US, every event, even it's digital or non-digital, people use Twitter. People would be tweeting, at least 80% of the participants would be tweeting. Social media, of course, people would be tweeting from phone and laptop maybe together, 100% se zyada hoga. But otherwise, for an event, it's a huge opportunity. We use it. To an extent, I'll share one example. So we were doing our workshop. Same day, someone got a message on Twitter. He called me. I exchanged an SMS. Finally, a mail exchange happened, and he was in our workshop just because of that Twitter. After second half, his another partner was there. Rest 3 days, 2 of them were there. Only through Twitter. So a lot of real sales lead generation happens. Events is one part. So they had, and this was a priced event. They had 800 registrations, which was the target. How many of you know about Hippo? So how many of you know Hippo as a product? So it's a product which is chips by Parle. So they have a positioning in terms of they are, not fat, so healthy chips. And they are very interesting positioning. Their marketing campaign was very interesting. Is that they say hunger is the evil, or the biggest evil. If you are hungry, you will be tensed. If you are hungry, you will not be satisfied. And hippopotamus, who has the biggest mouth, will never be hungry. So chips, hippo, if you eat hippo, you will never be hungry. And you are not hungry means your life, you will love living your life. So on that part, they had the whole positioning. And if you follow their account, another interesting part is they will not have perfect English. Hello me, hippo is also like that. Anything you do, I'll share one example. So we were doing this, we were discussing about a case study. Someone from Hippo tweeted. I said, why don't you come present to our workshop? So they said, give me email ID. I said, and then I got a mail. I'll read this mail. Hippo says, first of all, Hippo happy to know you like Hippo. But Hippo also want to know if you also joining Hippo Army to fight hunger. Hippo also happy that you are sharing Hippo effort with more big people in social media. So if you need any information or recipe, you can contact He Hippo friend and also very helpful. Hippo says waiting to hit from you. Okay, bye now. Papa, Hippo needs this customer. So they live like, in this culture. Tutti frutti English. And you will love it. You see their account, hello me Hippo, go to that, you will be amazed. They have used it very well. This was another international case study being presented at Twitter's annual conference. This is again, so one of the things else you can do is if you have positive conversations about you, you can take those conversations and use it as part of your website. So one advantage of social media is everything else you are doing, if you use the trusted recommendations which Sandeep also talked about yesterday in LinkedIn session, if you can have that real testimonials from real customers on your site, all the traffic, all the other marketing, the ROI of that will be multiplied. So this is one example which you can do. This is a site called 24 Hours Loot. On their website, on the right column, they have true testimonials from real people. Real time, anyone tweeting great about that gets reflected here. So if you are on that side, if you see those comments, your chances of conversion really go high. So over a period of time, if you see great conversations happening about your brand, take that as an RSS, put it on your website. So that's and true with LinkedIn recommendations as well, a lot of other recommendations, because everything else you're doing, the ROI will really get multiplied. Conversions will happen because this is real customer testimonial, real time. Cannot be artificially created. So that's how you can also use Twitter. So those are what all you can do. So if you have started, you're looking at starting, how would you do? You got that, this is all what you can do, Twitter is important. How would you leverage that opportunity? What would be the starting point? Download Twitter, surely you need to have, there is nothing to download by the way. There is nothing to download. You can use a tool like TweetDeck which you can download. But there is nothing to download. Yeah. What else? Sure. So one thing is definitely, yes, you were part of the yesterday's presentation as well. So you need to know your objective. And a lot of it will change, but at any point of time, start with what's the objective. It could be hybrid, multiple. Sure. What else?
I think before knowing the objective, you should actually, without an objective, you should also make an account.
Account you can create, but
Everything should not be done with an objective.
but once you start implementing, you need to know your objective. Sure. What else? You find your target audience. You are using the same framework, right? You know your target audience. Yeah. Start following other people. Sure. Define frequency of content. I see Facebook coming again and again. Yeah.
Listen to your brand.
Listen to your brand. Sure.
Use hashtag.
Use hashtag. Okay. Great. So all of that is valid. I'll share some, Ogilvy did this kind of a strategic framework which will help you. See, otherwise, even for me earlier it was ट्विटर अकाउंट होना चाहिए, ट्वीट करना है, अच्छा ट्वीट करना है, जो लोगों को अच्छा लगे, कोई रीट्वीट हो, कोई एंगेजमेंट हो, बट not encapsulated in a structured framework. So I'm just going to share one which can help you. See, one of the things is Twitter is the best listening tool. Before you speak, even social media, listen. And that is the concept of following. So you can listen in various ways. Follow the people who are relevant to you. You can follow a list which will have people without following individually. You can use Twitter search to follow. So one thing is, following will always go on. Like if I share my example, I constantly listen for anyone talking about digital Vidya, about Pradeep Chopra, Kapil Nakra, my partner, about social media in India, social media training. So though that's constantly going on. And I know these are the people I should be listening for. This would include journalists, this will include other social media experts, this will include marketing folks, some of them. So constantly, you will follow. That's one thing that should go on. Second part is create. What could create mean here? Tweet. So create is more like creation of content. So you will be tweeting, right? So you need to think about again those, who's your audience, what's relevant to them. I'll share some tweeting strategy in terms of content strategy. But you will then look about creating those content. And what's third? Engage. See, that's where the real value is. If you do this well, it really multiplies. It's again pyramidal. And one thing is Twitter is real time. So when you follow, because then you will know what to talk about. And then when you are talking, you will see people responding. So let me take an example to make it a little more clear. For example, this is a Vodafone Australia. They want to sell SIM cards and discounts around that. So for them, following will translate to people talking about Vodafone's products and services and any other, their competitor. It could include SIM cards, it could include mobile. So there are different ways you will look into who to follow, which keywords to use to do the listening. Creation is, tweets, which will have a lot of things, including links to the online. So if they are using it to promotions and deals and discounts, they will use tweets, which will have the links to the places where those discounts are. They will have discount code in that. They will announce that there are some discounts which are only applicable to Twitter followers. And engagement is, when you're doing that, you will see people asking you questions. They may not be directly asking you. They may be asking there. Then you respond. There is a concept of direct message, which is, if you are sending a direct message, no one else will know. So that's how you engage. You can mention, which is, if I am mentioning you, means the rest of the people also get to know that I am mentioning them. So that's largely where the engagement happens. And this is real time. And as I shared with you, logically, me saying this will not make much difference unless you experience it. And this engagement, one tweet engagement can literally lead to, for a lot of people, $1 million revenues. And those are the cases which are true. Like I get a lot of journalists contacting, a lot of speaker invites, over a period of time, build my credibility further using that. And that's real-time engagement. A lot of people which otherwise you will not have an opportunity to see, you will get it. So one way I have experienced why Facebook is different than Twitter is, Facebook, you largely you connect with people you already know. That's how you start your school, college, previous company, this company. Twitter is a place where you make new friends. You will observe, because there are anyways not too many people, but the number of new relationships you will build on Twitter will be much more than on Facebook. Though it looks that Facebook has so many people. You will really build many new relationships because you are not looking at finding that person to person. You are listening, and that's how you make. And person could be anywhere. You make a lot of new relationships on Twitter, which doesn't happen on Facebook. So does this help?
Can I add one more benefit?
Yeah, please.
In fact, Twitter enhances your social link graph, which helps you to boost your SEO also.
Yeah, so there was a recently confirmation that the links shared on Twitter and Facebook carry link value, which helps you improve your SEO rankings. So another reason is Twitter has become part of search results on Google. So if you are tweeting, so there was an article on site, Google has forced every company to tweet, because if you are not tweeting, you are missing out on that opportunity. Then is a link share on Twitter has that SEO value, so you would want to tweet. And there again, it's not like number of links, the quality of the links. Who are the people who are linking? What's their social graph? So quality is never compromisable, but so you need to look into who are the people. Like you look into best sites where you get a link from. Find the authority, engage with them, have them share about you. One is Twitter value, another is SEO value as well. So thanks for pointing that. Okay.
Even the tiny URLs will give the...
Yeah. Always it's tiny. Always it's tiny URL, largely.
Does Google translate them?
Should be, that's why. Can we move forward? Okay. So I'll share this another video, which is the essence of Twitter in terms of listening. So find out how you do the listening on Twitter. That's through Twitter search.
It seems like everyone is using Twitter these days. Sharing little messages with each other on phones and computers. It turns out that all these little messages, if you look at them all at once, become an easy way to find people, news, and trends. This is Twitter search in plain English. Let's get started by visiting Twitterville. This town represents all the people using Twitter. There are millions of them, and they're constantly talking to each other and sharing information 140 characters at a time. The typical townsperson only sees a part of the messages, or tweets, and that's fine. There are way too many to follow them all. But if all the tweets could be captured and organized all the time, amazing things could be possible. The town would have a resource for knowing what's interesting and who's talking about it. This is what Twitter search has done for Twitter. It captures and organizes every tweet so it's possible to find people and specific information in real time. For instance, meet Roy of Ice Cream by Roy. Other than the people who came to his store, he could never hear what customers said about his ice cream. However, because everyone in the town uses Twitter, he can now search for Ice Cream by Roy and see tweets from people who mention his product. Then he can reply to say thanks or follow their future updates. Twitter search helps Roy listen to customers and make the flavors they want. It's also a great way to learn about news. When an explosion is heard outside of town, the townspeople report it in real time. This means that Roy can check Twitter search to find a constant stream of information, sometimes from the very people who experienced it. He can even limit the results to tweets near a specific location. It's news as it happens. Every minute of every day on Twitter, people are using some words more than others. Maybe the town has a new mayor, a concert came to town, or the same joke is being told over and over. If the most popular words could appear on a sign, a person just arriving in town could get a feel for what was interesting to the residents at the moment. On Twitter, the most used words are known as trends, and they're a great way to see what's interesting on Twitter. You can always find up-to-the-minute trends on your Twitter profile or at search.twitter.com. Clicking a trending topic shows the most recent tweets that include that word or phrase. Sometimes, Twitter members work together and use a specific keyword called a hashtag to connect related tweets. For example, people talking about elections may use the hashtag vote to create the connection. This way, by including the vote tag, Roy can make sure his tweet is part of the discussion. If enough people use the tag, it may become a trend, attracting even more people to the conversation. Of course, tracking these conversations is easy because Roy can search right on his Twitter profile. And if he wants to see results over time, he can save the search. With Twitter, all the small messages are useful when shared between people. But by organizing all the tweets and making them searchable, we can learn what's on the minds of millions. I'm Leela Fever of Common Craft, and this has been Twitter Search in plain English.
That's exactly how Twitter search works. So you can, literally find out someone talking about Airtel in the region only this. So location, you can look into the sentiment as well. Only negative tweets. Tweets which have links. So almost any way you want to listen, if people are talking, you will get to know real time. And that will tell you what to and how to engage and who are the people, what they are talking. So there is a huge market research opportunity. So even without having a Twitter account, Twitter has a value. Because if you just use it as a market research, you don't need to even talk. Do the listening, you will get a lot of values in terms of what new product, what new direction, what are the pain points of your customers. Right? So that's what you can do is you can go to search.twitter.com. That's how you do listening. You can use tools like, and there's an advanced search option where you can define location, keywords, phrases, all those options, negative links and all that. Or you can use tools like Twitter, TweetDeck and all, which I will come to. That will do real time. You don't need to go to search.twitter and then search for it. Real time you will see. You can also do like a mail alert. Like there is a Google Alerts. You say that anyone tweeted about me anywhere comes to me in a mail. I don't want to be online real time all the time. You will get a mail once a day. So all that is possible the way you want to listen and what you want to listen. I'll just share with you in terms of, people ask how to get followers. So one thing, as I shared in Facebook, don't just worry about the number of likes. Even on Twitter, don't just worry about number of followers. However, they are important. What do you think is the best strategy for followers? Getting followers? Create great content, yes. So tweeting is the best. I'll share one example. So, this was to make it more interesting. We were looking at revamping our logo. I said, we are looking at revamping our logo. We are not Airtel and have a budget of rupees 0.0003 crore. They had 300 crores. Who would like to be our agency? A lot of requests we got. So this was just a 3,000 budget. Since it was interesting, it was relevant, fulfilling our purpose, we got a lot of people who were interested in doing this work. There is another interesting. A lot of people ask, what to tweet, why to tweet. So Netra again once said that tweet pe tweet kareja, retweet ki chinta mat kare. So it's literally like that. Don't worry about people following, retweeting to begin with. Be relevant, know your audience, do that. In terms of content, this is a mantra you can follow. Have 70% of your tweets core to your area. You can have 20% which is indirectly related. And around 10% could be casual, humor and fun. Just follow this as a principle, could be here and there. Because Twitter is a lot personal as well. You can, like this is an example of cash. This is a hashtag. A lot of people who are not here, like Ching Secret, this Herman, they could be part of the conversation here because they knew this is the hashtag. So there may be conference happening everywhere. You can be part of that if you know the hashtag. You can use tools like this. You might have seen my tweet with the presentation, link to this presentation. And I had scheduled that through TweetDeck. Would have done, 5 minutes earlier. You can use tools to schedule your tweets at night when you want to do that. You can use tools like Cloud to measure the performance. So I'll share the presentation, then you can go into all. I just wanted to give you the whole flavor. Ultimate victory, I would say, is with Zappos is a great example, which is like they have created this perception and positioning. Talking to Zappos, which is a shoe seller, is like talking to a friend who happens to sell shoes. That's what you really want to do. Build relationships like a friend. And then your product and service will get sold. So that's all about it. I think we have no more time for question and answer, but I'm definitely here. Can we have 1 or 2 questions? We can have 2 questions. This is a link to the presentation. Do follow me. Yeah.
Practically exposing the organization has been very long.
Yeah.
What has been your experience of, right kind of use or misuse? What has happened?
So one is who is handling that account. That you always have a control. Rest of the people, anyways, will have a freedom to talk. So a lot of things you can do is if you give other people in your organization to tweet, there is a policy. What people do is they write in their profile that my comments are personal. A lot of large organizations, especially public, that's one policy they follow. Even journalists, the comments over here are mine. I don't represent, officially this. And otherwise, Twitter handle, your account is yours. And more than that, rest of the people are anyways going to talk. If you are listening and engaging, you can do something about it. Not doing is only damage.
What's your thought on mixing content with tweets? You didn't talk of linking the content in terms of image or videos. I mean, how relevant is that?
So on Twitter, there is not much, but of course, like tools like TweetDeck, you can capture a picture, capture a video, link it, and there is a lot of get shared.
In terms of hits, what's the data?
Oh, it's a good number. In terms of videos shared, in terms of photographs shared, especially events like this, you are doing the live tweeting, you will click a photograph, especially because mobile is there, right? Capture the photograph, tweet it, the link automatically goes, there are tools. So a lot of it is happening, it's a significant portion, it's not one of the many which goes as a rich media content.
Do you have any tweet automation tools whereby you can put thousands of content and get automatically?
Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. Like we have something called digital marketing tip of the day, which goes at 11 a.m. through our account. And for a week we have scheduled. Like I was sharing about Facebook, think about content for future, scalability is the key. Of course, a lot of it is engagement, which is real time, but what you tweet, you can schedule. This presentation link, which would have been tweeted, I scheduled it.
Something called tweet spamming.
So spamming is like hashtag. You know the hashtag, then you are irrelevantly getting into that conversations. There are a lot of ways you can spam. So of course you don't want to do it. That is not going to give you anything. So that's one thing. One of the spamming is they use hashtag to still not being relevant and getting into conversation. Yeah, Vijay.
Earlier in the morning, Murthy was mentioning that most of the tools to measure Twitter, Facebook, all these social media channels are not full tools, so they have to create their own tool. What is your take on that?
Yeah. So one thing is, say as an industry, people like you and me have oversold measurability. Everyone talks about, give me 100 rupees and take 10 rupees as a revenue. However, especially on social media, what you really need to care about is look at the trends. Say absolute number anyways doesn't make a difference. Compared to any other media, here you have much more quantitative data. Look at trends. And also another thing you need to understand, social media is distributed across multiple platforms. Every platform has an objective and there is an associated metrics. Other than the tool, you need to define the metrics. Tools are still, will give you good enough information. Unless you really want to do large stuff like ICICI Bank managing, you may not can do it manually. But in most of the other cases, what is the importance is to create that metrics. And then tools, for 80% of us, we don't need any hi-fi advanced tool.
Cloud should be good enough.
Cloud is one way. It's good to measure the, if you want to see how powerful this account is, it will give you almost everything you want.
How many Twitter accounts?
I have, like Facebook, you have a company account, you can have a Twitter account. I have my account as an individual account, I have a my digital Vidya account. So don't try to, have multiple profiles, never work anywhere on social media.
Hi Pradeep, thanks for the nice presentation. Just one small question, how does Twitter make money?
So they have come up with sponsored ads. When you search on Twitter, on the top there could be a sponsored tweet. Right now they're in a beta working with Coke and some of the large brands in US. That's one way they are going to.
And do you think that will work because as a platform it's quick, snappy, 140 characters, so will it have a recall value or it will?
So there you will have a link, there you will need to be creative. The way people are used to reading Twitter, the ad will be 140 characters. Anyways, Google Ads is also not that big.
Sure.
If it is relevant, it will work.
Thanks.
Right. Last question, otherwise I think next session. Yeah.
Can you elaborate on the list?
So the concept of list is you want to, for example, listen about what is happening in social media. People create list which is a group of Twitter people added to that. What you can do is you follow that list. You don't need to individually follow them. You can create your own list. You can create a list of your competitors and that can be a private list. They would not know that you're... One benefit is you don't need to do individually. Then is, like people who participate in our workshops, we create a digital Vidya alumni list. I get to just following that, I know what's happening in their world. Yeah, same. So I think let's wrap up for this. The next session guys are waiting. I am anyways where we can interact. Thank you so much. Thank you.